How you doing, everyone? My name is Danny Arroyo, originally from New York, here living in Los Angeles, following my filmmaking passion and dreams, acting, writing, producing, and getting into directing. So having a great time and grateful to be here.
What an introduction. I love the energy you bring to what you are passionate about, which came through in your introduction, which we will touch on. But thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk to me today, Danny. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, I want to ask you first, what do you think people's first impression of you is?
First impression, which is a big deal, I think, is energy. I mean, you can't not talk to somebody and then even if they're smiling, you can always maybe kind of sense something's going on beneath the surface in their eyes. I think I just had a leaf fall on my head. See, that's energy right there saying you're right on the money. What you said is absolutely 100% correct. It is energy. So I try to bring into the room as good as energy as possible, because if you're happy for who you are, grateful for your day, grateful to be alive, grateful for the family and friends that you have, it just exudes. So even if someone doesn't even necessarily see you face to face, they may, in a group of people, go, who's that? They can kind of tell who you are just based on energy. And that's really the answer I'm going to stick with, according to the leaf as well too, and what the universe just gave me.
The universe literally fell on your
Yeah,
energy.
with that answer, yeah. And I believe it 1,000,000%.
It acknowledged you, and I agree.
Yeah.
I know when we met, the energy that you present is very strong. And that's how I felt. It was just
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
I mean, we just met, ladies and gentlemen, right before this.
We just met,
and
yeah.
so I'm meeting Danny right along with you, literally.
Yeah, and like I said, energy for me is super important because I am a meditator who hasn't missed a day of meditation in over 6 years. In fact, I celebrated my 6-year meditation anniversary like last week sometime. So, and I write down how many days that is. I think that's like 2,205 days now I'm at. Changed my life, changed everything about how I see things, how I understand that even a setback, you can find learning lessons from it, or there's a reason why. Maybe not feeling good a certain day, but then maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks later, a few months later, you go, I needed to go through that. That was very important. So yeah, that's something maybe I should have put in my introduction. And I'm a huge guy who's into meditation and energy and manifesting and creating my future and my existence.
Well, from one meditator to another.
Oh, look at you.
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Everything you said, yes. I started meditating 2 years ago almost. Actually, this month was 2 years.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
That's a big deal.
It is a big deal. And like you said, the energy that you come into a situation, whether it's a room or just a situation or an open space with, dictates everything.
And the thing about what I believe with meditation is that even if you suffer through a misstep, it could be the most basic of things. I find that, at least for me, maybe hopefully for others, you recover quicker because you understand that there's a bigger picture and there's more things that you have to be grateful for, that you should be grateful for, that one little, someone cuts you off in the street or whatever, you don't get a gig that you hoped you got, but there's so much more going on that you can't let that bring you down, or if it does, you recover that much faster. And that's what I've noticed, and I'm really happy about that.
I agree completely. I noticed some of the same things when I started meditating, and I'm going to speak to what you just said about someone cutting you off in traffic.
You're kind of glowing right now, like your face when I'm talking to you. You're kind of just, I could see your aura just kind of just went. I think I might have said something that really struck a chord with you there. I can tell.
It's just how the feeling of what you talked about. So you said when someone cuts you off in traffic. I described to someone when I first started meditating how I knew that things were changing for me because I hadn't cursed in traffic all week.
Wow, that's a big deal actually. You weren't reactionary. You just got it, took it in, and just went on with life and said, I'm never going to see that person again, and why am I carrying that negative space there? And you just kind of moved on. That's a big deal.
So I have a quick question I want to ask.
Sure, of course.
I have a big question I want to ask.
Please.
Quick question is, where is your favorite place to meditate?
See, I meditate at home mostly, especially since COVID kind of happened, and also the privacy of being at home, because I'm not the guy who's like, let me be out in the open and just do this. Man, it's not a question of where's my favorite place, but every place you kind of meditate is always going to be the place you enjoy. Where have I meditated the most? My home, clearly. On the couch, sitting there, but when I was sitting in my Airbnb outside on the deck overlooking the ocean, seeing the sunrise at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. when I woke up to specifically meditate to the sunrise. I mean, I have my moments where I go, that was pretty cool, actually. So maybe that was one of my favorites, and I'd love to do it again. But it's wherever I'm at, I find myself most connected. And when I find somebody who wants to meditate with me, it doesn't happen often, but you meet somebody and they go, I like what you're doing. Like, how do you do it? I go, let's meditate. I'll put something on and we'll sit, here, and then it's kind of nice to share that vibe together. And it's powerful, But you can tell sometimes when they're kind of like, maybe we're 30 minutes into it and they're kind of restless a little bit. And I go, it's okay. If you get restless or you start thinking about, did I water the plants or whatever, it's okay. Forgive yourself and get back to what is being said on what we're listening to, the music or the words, and get back to that, and you'll find yourself back to where you need to be. Kind of a long answer to a very simple question, but yeah, that's it.
So the question that I wanted to ask you was, what do you see from prior to 6 years ago when you started meditating as a big change for you?
The amount of gratitude that I now have for all that I have and all that I've experienced prior to what I used to not think about back. I mean, it's human to want to complain. It's human to feel sorry for yourself. It's human to get angry. It's human to blame others for they're the reason why I'm going through this. And then when you really kind of sit back and have gone through the meditation, or like I journal too as well, so you kind of write down what's going on, and it's just like a self-analysis on yourself, and you realize gratitude is the answer to everything. There is a bigger plan. You just have to be patient and gratitude, and that's kind of what my answer is. I learned more patience and gratitude.
I love it. So you said about meditating with others that they have to be ready. What made you ready 6 years ago?
I went through a traumatic relationship with an ex-girlfriend, and just ruined my whole energy. But again, I can't blame the other person for that. That's just not right. If anything, I'm grateful for what I went through with whatever anger and just the bad energy between us. It wasn't right. It wasn't meant to be. The timing was wrong. All of the above. But that, when it was done, made me want to go, I'm grateful of where I'm at right now. So let me start with day one of, okay, I'm going to start my life over again, and things are going to be great. And, let me start my next audition, and let me read this book. And it was just a slow process that began. And next, a week went by, and I went, I've been doing this for a week. That's cool. I wasn't planning, trust me, I wasn't planning on 6 years, let alone, and then next, it's like a month went by, and then 90 days went by, and 6 months went by, and before you know it, I celebrated a year, and I was seeing my progress of things that were manifesting, that were coming forth, how I was feeling, just people in general kind of going, something different about you. And I was like, wow, there's something to this. And now it's just become a thing where it is a lifestyle. It is something that I just have to do every morning when I wake up. But sometimes a lot of the best things start with traumatic things. It is, near death experience, a firing of a job, someone passes away, leaving a bad relationship, whatever, and all of a sudden you're going, I have a new outlook. And I just wanted to take advantage of that outlook and not just be the person who goes into the next relationship or whatever and just bring the same baggage. It's like, let me work on me. What maybe something that I lacked in this. And that's kind of what happened. 6 years, trust me, flew by fast.
I hear value in what you're saying, and finding value in yourself and moving to what is of value to you through the experiences. Mm-hmm. And I get it, and I love that, because it's like you said, you're the only one that decides how you feel about something. No one can make you feel a certain way. Yeah. And so recognizing that the way you feel is valuable. Mm-hmm. But you have the right and the ability to control it. Yes. And I love that. Yeah, it's very true. By the way, I'm totally zoned into your aura right now. It's like I'm just kind of watching you, and I'm just kind of really being in this moment here.
I'm just feeling your vibe right now. Really, this is nothing like super weird. No, I'm like I'm seeing you, and it's really very cool. And then it's on camera. It's like, oh my God, I wonder how that's gonna look. It's really cool.
Oh,
like I'm right here with you.
Thank you, and I feel the same. I'm sure you can tell I'm like laser focused on what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I love being in these moments because, like you said, the energy. I mean, you called it out on yourself, but the energy you get from people. Someone else called it out in an interview we were doing, and they said how present I was when talking to them. But I was so interested in you as a person. And like we said, I hadn't met you until 10 minutes ago.
10, 15 minutes ago, yeah, right.
But it's because I value human beings and their contribution to the world that I live in with them. And so that's why I do these interviews, and I'm loving everything about this conversation.
Yeah, I am too. I didn't know what to expect.
What is something that would surprise people to know about you?
The people that know me wouldn't be surprised with this. Maybe people on camera going, hey, he's a meditation guy, whatever now, and great, and nice guy, whatever. I'm a huge nerd, huge geek. But my friends know this about me already. I mean, they're going, we already knew that. But to the people that don't and are watching this, maybe, massive geek, huge superhero fan. I got some superhero tattoos. I collect comic books, like vintage, key comics of like, you know, key characters like, you know, from Spidey, you know, Batman, you name it. So this is something I've always done since childhood, and I just fully embrace it now. I mean, even my mask that I wear for COVID is like Spidey or, you know, the Joker or whatever. I embrace it. I'm not embarrassed about it. Oh, it's such a kid thing. Oh, that's great. Then I'm a kid then. I love it. I'm just a huge fan of that. So there's that. I work out all the time, but you know, what else would people not know of me? I mean, I write, obviously, if I'm a filmmaker, you know, but I write. I love writing. I journal.
How many tattoos do you have?
Not many.
No?
Not many. I got it at a point in my life. In fact, I think, when did I get this one? I got this, I got like a Superman, I got a Spider-Man, I got like a Batman here. I got like maybe like 4 or 5, like just here, for me, on my calf here. So I'm not trying to be like, look at me. It's just, that was for me. And they're the reasons why I really got into watching TV, being creative, wanting to work out. And I went, well, let me put that on here and honor that, because this is the reason where I got started as a kid, wanting to be where I'm at today, want to do film and TV and train. Just watching these heroes on TV or reading about them and seeing their movies. So I thought I'd put that on there.
If that wasn't the most perfect transition, I don't know what is. It's almost like you knew what was coming next in our conversation.
Oh, really?
I was gonna ask you how you got started wanting to be on screen, on camera, filming, acting, now you said directing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids, they watch stuff when they're young and they recite the words back. They've seen it many times, so they know what's being said. And it's like, how many times have you seen that? I mean, that was me. And I'm sure a lot of people are like that. And during a conversation, you'll quote back a film. An appropriate answer is a quote from a movie or a TV show. And you start to realize, oh, I'm kind of into this, you know. And then from there, I just kind of logically took the next steps of, well, okay, that guy's on TV. Like, how did he get there? And then, you know, like say Christopher Reeve, for example, because he was a big influence for me. Watching his movie on HBO back in the day. Oh, he went to school for acting. Acting's a profession. Wait a second. I mean, it's something that people get paid for this. It's not like they were born to this or who knows what. And it was just a process, and then reading, getting some books, reading some interviews, and then eventually getting like a backstage and going, oh, headshot, okay, oh, acting class. I'm seeing the dots. I'm processing it, and then from there, it just kind of like progressed. And you know, years and years later, you know, you keep up following the dream and the passion, and you find yourself fortunate enough. I'm grateful to say, you know, with a modicum of success. Projects that are coming out, people trusting you, hiring you for gigs, hiring you to write their things, act in their projects. And you know, like right now, I have about 4 films coming out right now that I'm the lead guy in, that I worked on, which is great. A couple of them I produced. A TV show that's out right now on Tubi that I have 4 episodes with 4 more coming out. I play one of the lead guys, and me and my producing partner raising money for our next production for a TV show I'm ready to make, that I wrote, that we both wrote, and I really kind of, you know, expanded on. But enjoying the journey and understanding they got to be patient with it. man, if I could have it today, I would in a heartbeat. But I've learned that lesson. Sometimes it takes time.
So you just talked about writing, producing, acting. Do you feel that being a contributor in all facets of the business, if you will, in quotation marks, allows you to be better at the business overall?
Absolutely. I am a better director because I've acted. I'm a better actor because I write. And as I'm writing, I'm getting into the character, figuring it out. And then producing is just a natural thing that you're just going to fall into, because now so might as well produce these, and I'm into all this. I mean, I pretty 4 big things, hats to wear. So to do all that, yes, you become better at each and every aspect of it. But also I like that there are people who are so much better at that than me that I can then learn from. You know, I mean, there's no shame in my game here. I mean, I feel I'm good at what I do, but I'm not great, and I want to keep learning from the people who can teach me to become better at my craft. And every day I'm learning. Every day I'm learning, and that's what I'm grateful for. And you always seem to really am enjoying my journey.
Well, that is completely obvious, and I have enjoyed this conversation so much, and I love the way the conversation went, because you could really see how the journey manifested for you, and I'm grateful for all that you have as well. And I'm grateful for your time.
I'm grateful for you. Still holding the magic leaf here the whole time. Wasn't that wild? That was great.
It. Well, as we close out this conversation, I have one final question for you and for your leaf.
Yeah.
As you are on set, as you are meditating, as you are walking on a beautiful beach, as you described, if you had the opportunity to hold up a sign that says one thing about you, what would you want people to know about Danny?
That you will always get the most genuine person. You ask me a question, you come up to me, you have an issue, you have a problem, you need some advice, you have anything that you are going through at that moment that you want to talk to me about. You will get my most genuine, honest, nicest answer that I can give, even if it's not something that you want to hear, but I will be most genuine about it. I never really had that question asked to me like that. It's actually really a cool question. But I think that's what it is. I will come at you as nice as possible with whatever it is that you need. Yeah, that's probably the best thing that I can do. You will get the most genuine me, you know, who's trying his best to be the best human that he can be. There you go.